As you have noticed, we are not in Kansas anymore. We are not exactly in the Lokad offices. We are in Roubaix in the north, or more precisely, a city in the north of France. And I'm delighted to be at industrial site of La Redoute. La Redoute has been a client of Lokad for a couple of years. And today it is a pleasure for me to be invited by Patrice Fitzner, who happens to be the logistic director of La Redoute. So Patrice, could you tell us a little bit about what, in your career, what brought you to La Redoute a little bit more than a decade ago?
Yeah, I work for La Redoute since 2010 now, so more than 10 years. And before I worked in the automotive industry as a director of factories in automotive industry. And when I decided to move from this industry to La Redoute, it's because at this time, 10 years ago, there was already a project to move and to change the logistic way of the logistic of La Redoute. So it's why coming from the automotive industry, which is an industry that is very, very efficient, let me say, I was supposed at this time that it will be very interesting to translate my knowledge from the automotive industry to the logistic industry in La Redoute.
Now, this is a fairly large industrial site. What is I would say, the extent of your responsibilities at La Redoute at present day for your role?
So I am responsible of the flow of customer order and of the flow of goods between the customer order and the last delivery order of the customer at home. But we have also for bulky items an outsourced warehouse near Valenciennes, and I manage all this stuff between the logistics, the inbound, outbound flow, and deliveries to customers.
And so you've quite, I would say, some ground to cover in terms of responsibilities. I mean, both literally, because the place is quite big, and figuratively. What is it that you enjoy the most in terms of your responsibilities? You know, what do you think really makes sense? What do you like about your job?
So the department of logistics we have more than 500 people. So we have technical issue, we have project, and it's a part of the job. But the main purpose of the job is the management, in fact, because my role is to engage people and to share with them let me say the spirit of the customer, to give them meaning and understanding of their role in the global satisfaction of customer.
La Redoute was founded, I think, something like 187 years ago, but clearly this site is not a 19th century setup. This is obviously extremely modern. So could you tell us a little bit about this precise, I would say, industrial site that is the main hub for, I would say, for the flow of La Redoute?
So at the beginning, we don't want to buy some technical solution. So we, at the very beginning, our requisite was about the flow. What we want to do is to manage 3,500 orders per hour with more than 300,000 references in the stock, and with 2 hours of fulfillment lead time. So it was let me say, the prerequisite of the project. And after, we see the market and we ask to the market, hey, how we can do this now? And we have also the size of the site with 40,000 square meters with 10 meters high that is usable. And and we ask to the market what we can do in terms of technology to be able to meet these objectives.
I've been following I would say, the logistic market for quite a while, and what you see, I would say, in the mainstream media is a lot of super fancy robots. I mean, Amazon is obviously making, I would say, an enormous marketing move out of them. You can see them. It is very, I would say, futuristic. It is impressive, at least from a non-specialist. Here, I see no robots, but I do see an enormous level of mechanization. So clearly, we have a seat that is intensively mechanized with a very, very high level of productivity, even if we don't have those small robots around. So could you give us a bit your little perspective on this choice of technology and how do you even approach the problem?
So the choice here was made because we have also the building. That means that we with the range of the offer, so 300,000 items or references in stock, we must have a very, very compact site, and with robots, you just use 2 or 2.5 meters of the global. Yes.
Starting from the floor.
Yes,
so you don't use the full height.
Yes. You don't use the full height. Here we use the full height of the building. And second point is about the global the peak capacity. We have here a peak capacity of 12,000 peak per hour with almost 100 people on the site. That means that it's very productive. And if you want to achieve this kind of peak with a limited number of persons, I think that the robot technology is not the good one to do this.
And that brings me to an interesting phenomenon. You were discussing about the peaks, and indeed, France, although France is not the United States, we are doing the black market, the Black Friday. And so the Black Friday has become, an enormous event even in France. That's the influence of the USA on France. And but I mean, it is also a really good period for La Redoute because it is a massive surge of orders for La Redoute. What else was your main strategy to even be able to cope with this those very specific surge of demand? There is Black Friday and a few others during the year.
When we developed the site, we developed the site with the capacity for the peak. That means that the peak is 3,500 orders per day. We don't have this number of orders each day, each hour. So it is the maximum that we can do. So it is also calculated relatively to the peak period that we have. And secondly, we work in 2 shifts. And for this kind of period, we add a third shift, and we have a night shift. So that means we have 30% of capacity more. And of course, we have a temporary worker that help us during this kind of period.
Compared to you, I would say your personal history. You started at La Martinière, which was the old site of La Redoute, the old logistical site. This site is obviously radically different, way more modern. So you've already seen quite a remarkable transformation of, I would say, the logistical activity at La Redoute during the last decade. What do you think is the biggest challenge for the decade to come? I know that obviously forecasting, especially the future, is super difficult. But what do you see as, I would say, the core challenges and the core maybe tendencies for for logistics for the decade to come?
I think that for the fulfillment, the industrialization is on the way. That means that I think that the next challenges will be about the last mile deliveries because we have a very, very big challenge for climate, and I think that we will have a lot of investment for trucks, also for all the data that we will need to manage better the last mile delivery and to have the good level of customer care using data to be able to prevent customer if there is something wrong during the deliveries. And I think that the challenge move from the fulfillment to the distribution that will be for the next decade a very, very big challenge.
The data is really something that is of high interest to me. And I see that the whole building is literally covered in optic fibers. So you have like relays and network all over the place. So just within this site, it seems that there is like an enormous amount of data that flows that let you track every single unit in its placement, in its three-dimensional placement, because obviously we have like 10 meters. So, and so you see data as what? As a tool to diagnose the problems, to further improve the activity of La Redoute?
Yes, we have two kinds of data. We have technical data about the technical issue that we can have into the process. So it's a first level of data. And we have also the data about products and about quality, customer quality. So when we detect a problem of quality, because we just manage, in fact, we don't manage products in logistics. We just manage barcodes, and we read barcodes and we send barcodes. If there is something wrong into the barcode, and when we have some customer reclamation, so we are able after to have the good traceability of each steps into the rows to see where it's happened. So it's very important to have data to be able to do daily improvement and to be able to reduce the rate of defaults that we can have for the customer.
According to the YouTube statistics, so Lokad TV as an audience, that includes quite a few, I would say, young engineers. So the young part, we get it directly through the statistics of Facebook. The engineer part, we get it because the sort of questions that get asked are very technical. So it kind of scream engineers at you. So what would be your advice for a young engineer who wants to get started in this area of logistics?
First of all, I think that logistics is the new area for industrial engineer. That means that we have all kind of jobs in project team, in management team, because it's we work with a very large number of people in logistics. So there is management profile. There is a project leader profile, and there is also a lot of investment today in logistics, in supply chain globally, but in logistics. And when you are an engineer, you love to make new things in place. You love to use new technology, and it's a new game for logistics. So you can have fun in this area, because there is a lot of things that you can do with also a lot of investment. So if you have investment, you have some project very, very interesting.
You are managing, I mean, not directly, but in total 500 people. What is it that you seek in terms of qualities in the people that are working close to you? I mean, obviously, as a good manager, the goal is to be able to, transmit those qualities to a large extent. But obviously, it's a work that has to be done by both parties. Yeah. And so, what is it that you think is the most aspect, I would say, the quality or the sort of drive that you expect from people?
Curiosity, ability to work in team, to work together, transversality, and also ability to work with a day-to-day pressure. As I said, the flow never stops. So you have to be on the data, on your subject every day, because every day you send order to customer. So every day, if you want to satisfy your customer, you have to be on the activity.
Thank you very much for all those answers. So the show must go on, but that will be it for today. We will have other interviews with other guests from La Redoute. Thank you very much.